break, and
looks like Grant went and got something.
I got story time now. You brought. I guess I'm every time we're gonna bring story time, right? And items to story time. It's like school again.
It's like school.
So,
show and tell.
Show and tell.
Yeah.
So, I will say, talk about size and graduating, and I've graduated.
Yeah,
on muleys.
That was your graduation right there.
That was my graduation. That was my biggest muley of this year. Called him Blade because he's all
bladed up.
He's all bladed from every angle. I don't know if you can see him or not.
Yeah,
but I guess we got to hold him up higher. So
turn him, let everybody see. Yeah,
but from my first mule deer, that they call him Curly upstairs, but in our little powwow,
we call him 7-Shot.
7-Shot families.
Yeah.
And he got that name for one reason.
Yeah. 7-Shot is one.
So, you can see old 7-Shot there.
Yeah.
I said, I'm going to bring 7-Shot down so you guys can pick on me.
Yeah.
But you know what? I was so pumped up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And
it was a good hunt.
You talk about, like, you know, how you were shaking on your first deer.
Oh, yeah.
That, you know, your deer 19 years ago.
Yeah. Well, not my first deer, but...
But, yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But I was shaking more on this deer than I was that deer.
Oh, yeah.
And this deer...
I know it. I was right beside you.
Yeah. So, you guys can see. I mean... And what do you want to say? It's a graduation thing.
Yep.
I still get fired up just the size of that deer as I would this deer, but this deer right here, my first muley ever, and...
Oh, yeah.
Tell you what, it was...
And why did it get the name 7-Shot?
I missed 7 times. And, you know, somebody upstairs was like, would you just please shoot this deer? Because I'm letting him stand here this long. And,
I know it.
And we chased him over the hill and shot again.
Yeah.
And shot again.
Shot again.
Grant, what are you doing?
Yeah. And I remember Terry's little granddaughter was in the back seat, and Terry said when we were out there shooting, because we had seen him from the road, and me and Grant had got out, walked down this fence line.
We passed him to go pick his granddaughter up, and he was laying down with a bunch of does, and Terry's like, I got to get his permission first.
That's right. Yeah, I got to get his permission, yeah.
And on the all-way to pick his let me tell you, out there in Montana, 100 miles of driving ain't nothing.
Is nothing. Yeah, nothing. Yeah.
If we gotta drive 10 miles down the road, it's something for us here in Ohio. But
100 miles ain't nothing. Yeah.
Ain't nothing. They just all right, let's go, boys.
Yeah. And we literally drove like 115 miles one way.
One way.
Yeah. And then 115 miles back.
And he was still there.
And he was still laying there. And in the meantime, in that driving, Terry got permission to hunt that ranch. We pulled up. He dropped us off, and he said, "Boys, go down that fence line. Stay on the left side of the fence. Go down the fence line, and drop up over that ridge, and then go in on him." And that's exactly what we did. And where we ended up, the granddaughter she was little then, like 2.
Oh, she was tiny. She was still in the car seat.
She was in the back in the car seat, and where we ended up, she had like the perfect line of sight to see where we was at. And when it was all over, Terry said when Grant was missing that she was like,
"Wait,
Papa, he's not a very good shot." The deer's still standing there, but that's why we called it 7-Shot. And but Grant was pretty pumped up.
I was tore up, pumped up.
Yeah,
I was everything you could imagine.
Yeah, but it was a really, really good hunt.
That was our first muley hunt together.
And I will say that was the last day. Last
Last few minutes.
Yeah, it was the last afternoon because we had we had to go get his granddaughter. We drove like we said 115 miles there. We drove 230 miles round trip to go get her, and in the meantime he got permission, and we got back with literally an hour and a half before dark.
Probably so. Yeah.
He's like, if we hurry, we can make it hour and a half before dark. And long story short, well, 7-Shot story short.
7 shots later.
Yeah, 7 shots later, Grant got his first muley, and we rejected. That was another picture you looked really, really young in.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've aged terribly over the last 7 or 8 years. Nate likes it when we pick on other people, don't he?
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, he loves it. Well, I've aged more than you have. Holy cow.
He only took one.
Yeah.
And I will say I was shooting the same caliber.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
Yeah.
I mean, it all like, it's all a graduation thing. Like
Right.
you say, we're going to Montana this year. We pull our tags and all that again.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Will I look for something like this again? Daggone right.
Yeah, right. No kidding.
Because I know what kind of hunt we're doing.
Right.
Now, if we're
Right.
backpacking in and it was
Totally different.
totally like a rough,
Totally different.
hard.
Yep.
Level
Totally
10
different.
hunt. We love.
Right.
We hunt. We run.
Yeah.
Me and Josh judge hunts 1 to 10.
Right, yeah. On physical.
Physical.
Yeah, how hard is it going to be?
How hard it's gonna be on your body.
Yeah. Going and sitting in a tree stand is a 1.
A 1.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a 1.
And what would you give these guys?
I would say a 5 or a 6, but during the week, we're putting in miles and miles. I mean, people don't understand. They see us post a success picture, and even if we video the hunt, we still don't give them the full perspective because we have literally went. I mean, that deer right there, that 7-shot deer, you in 1 week, if we average 15 miles a day walking,
Yes.
you had way over 100 miles in that deer on walking. So I mean, that's a 6 or a 7. Like the elk hunt we went on in Oregon was a 9. That was rough.
That was rough.
That was a rough hunt. But
Yeah.
But like we were getting back to what we were talking about, it's
You have
all
to
graduating to getting to that level.
These Montana muleys, you have to be in shape.
Oh, you got to be in shape.
And when they say you're gonna walk this coulee, it ain't little.
Yeah, it ain't little.
And it's up and down, and you're gonna walk.
Yeah, Logan knows.
You're gonna walk 2 miles this way, then you're gonna cross the coulee and walk 2 miles back the other way, the same coulee you just walked.
Right.
And
it's legit.
you're not gonna see anything, probably 'cause you just walked it.
Yep.
But
right.
you're gonna have to walk back.
It's tough. Yep.
It's tough. So,
But that's a big jump from that deer for you to that deer there.
yes.
And you've got several others that size.
I've got 4 more of that size on the
4 more
wall.
of that size. Yeah, that's why you said I'm not shooting anything
Yeah, and that's
less
why
than something like that. And
I-
I don't want people to think that we're criticizing people for shooting big deer because we do it.
Oh yeah.
We do it. I mean, I've went home empty-handed several times, and like for this year's hunt in Wyoming, Scott didn't want to shoot a small deer, so he went home empty-handed, So
it's just it's whatever you want. It's personally whatever you want.
right,
And what I can say to all the other people out there, quit judging each other
right,
and just be happy for what they shot.
yep,
I mean, I could shoot something like that this coming year,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't know how hard I hunted for that deer
right, exactly, yeah.
to shoot that.
And that's
deer.
the memories that we got. My
That's the
memory
memories.
of it is you missing, and me me looking at you and go, "What are you doing?" Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the matter with you?
what's wrong? Yeah, but I mean but we have told more stories about that deer than we ever will of this deer.
100%.
Yeah,
Like, that deer will live on forever.
Yeah.
And keep getting told about and,
and
told about.
and told about. Yeah,
This
by the
deer-
time that you're 50, its nickname will be 20 shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
can't.
I'm going to try it. I'm going to add, just so nobody, about every 2 years, I'm going to add a shot to it.
And this deer right here, it'll be talked about,
But it'll be forgotten.
be forgotten.
That one won't.
That my little one
That one won't.
won't.
Yep.
And
That's what it's all about.
that's
Yep.
what it's about.
Yep. So we're going to bring somebody. We're
Yes.
going to call somebody else who bring somebody else's opinion and perspective in on this. We're going to call Trevor Justice, who I've been friends with for a long time, and we're going to call him and bring him in. He knows a lot about big deer. Matter of fact, he shot a 190 plus in Ohio this year with his bow, and I think it might have been on the second day of the season. So I mean, he knows a lot about big deer. Like I said, I've been friends with him for a while. But one thing about him is he volunteers his time to take young hunters and first-time hunters. So that's why we want to bring him on the air. So Nate, if you want to get him on the air, that would be great.
Counting on Nate again.
Yep, counting on Nate.
Working my magic, guys. Working
Yep,
my magic.
work that magic.
Ding-a-ling-ling.
Yep. he gonna answer.
He's gonna answer.
He gonna answer.
Third ring.
Hello.
Hey, Trevor, it's Josh and Grant on the Pure Whitetail podcast. How are you tonight, buddy?
Good. How you guys doing?
Good, man. Good.
My man.
So what we're talking about tonight is people downing other people for shooting small deer and getting first-time hunters into the sport and them not feeling like they have to shoot a big deer. Now, I already prefaced this with that you shot an absolute buck of 10 lifetimes this year with what'd your buck score this year?
It was 193 and 4/8.
193 and 4/8.
I got lucky, man.
Well, congrats again on a giant, man. You've killed some good ones in your day, and that one was just. I remember that. Was that like the second day of the season?
It was actually opening night.
Opening night. Wow. Awesome. Absolutely awesome, man.
First time in, all that good stuff.
Yeah, good. And I think one thing, you kill big deer, and everybody knows that, but one thing, the reason why I wanted to bring you on is because I know that for years you've been taking first-time hunters, and I know you travel to Tennessee and you do a benefit hunt down there and all that stuff. And what is your thoughts on, people that that feel like they have to apologize when they shoot a small deer? Or what's your thoughts on when bringing new people into the sport of hunting in general, not just deer, but we can use turkey hunting as a reference too, that, let's say if a kid shoots a Jake and then they get shamed of, why did you let him shoot that? What's your thoughts on that?
Right. I mean, just like you guys said, the main reason I even hunt nowadays, I've hunted twice this year by myself, and both times I kind of left the woods disappointed that I didn't have somebody else there with me, especially like a youngster. Everybody knows I take my nephew all the time. He's 13 now. He's been going with me since he's been about 7 years old. But it's a bad thing to see happen every year. I mean, the biggest thing with social media and stuff is guys take their son or a youth in general out, and they kill a deer, and the first thing is, why didn't you let that one go, or it would have been bigger next year, or whatever. I mean, it's crazy that the hunters nowadays base everything off of a score. I mean, back when, before the trail camera pandemic hit,
right,
epidemic, and all that,
right.
I mean, everybody just went hunting just to enjoy it, I mean, we didn't really care that we shot the biggest deer in the woods. And it's just been, I mean, social media blowing that kind of thing up has really hurt it. And it's really hurt it for the kids. I mean, they're the ones that are taking the brunt of all this now, because they're the ones just coming into the sport. And now they think, they can't go out and shoot spikes and forkhorns like we did, or their buddies are going to make fun of them at school.
Right.
Or even other adults I see online making fun of it. And it is a bad thing that we have going on right now as hunters.
Yeah, I agree.
I think we should definitely need to steer away from it. I mean, it's definitely getting kind of out of hand. I mean, it just gets worse and worse every year, it seems.
Right. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with you 100%. It just seems like if we could, obviously, in general, people in general, it's hard to agree on everything, but it seems like if we could come together on hunters and do away with this buck shaming, when like we've been talking about on this episode, is some guys graduate to that next level. Obviously you're at that next level shooting big deer. You let little ones walk to hopefully shoot bigger deer, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm in the same boat. Grant's in the same boat on the muley side of stuff. We're all in that boat, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think if you just go back to shoot what makes you happy and don't shame on others, if we could all just get to that point, I'm what we've been talking about is we're in fear of our sport dying. Because if our numbers keep dwindling down like they are, then we're all in trouble. Because there won't be nobody to fight.
Absolutely.
There won't be nobody to fight, the antis. There won't be nobody. There won't be enough of us left to say, hey, we're fighting for this. So I think that's what I'm scared about. And like Grant said earlier, is you get that young hunter that kills something and gets shamed on the first time out, and they see it on social media. Well, that ain't a good feeling, So they might quit and never do it again.
Absolutely. I mean, and it's not just the kids getting shamed themselves. It's them seeing their parents get shamed for it. I mean, I see guys online that maybe, will shoot a smaller deer or one that makes them happy, and everybody's, talking bad about them, should have let it go, it wasn't big enough, and this and that, wasn't old enough. And, the kids are seeing that happen to their parents, making them not even want to go, because everybody knows there aren't giant deer hiding behind every tree. It's not like everybody that goes out can kill one. I mean, some guys may only have a couple acres in a subdivision where big deer just don't come through. They just don't have that chance, but they like to be out there and they like to go. So, they're going to take advantage of the opportunity to go kill whatever they can.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if they get shamed for it, it is just a terrible thing that happens in our world.
Right.
And you talking about being a dying sport. I mean, I've seen firsthand with working with Whitetails Unlimited. I mean, as closely as I have the last several years. We put on these events mainly for youth hunters and to build the youth population up for the hunting community.
Right. And
it seems to be, going the wrong way. I mean, it seems like every banquet there's less and less kids coming. It's just, and that might not be the case all over the country, but just right here where we had been, in Ohio, and that I've witnessed firsthand, it just seems to, dwindle each year. So, I mean, we are a dying breed.
Yeah.
And it is happening right before our eyes. And I think it has a lot to do with, like you said, the hunter shaming and just everybody needs to be on the same team with everything.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what you shoot or what you kill or what you shoot it with.
Right. Yeah, we got enough people against us, except being, we definitely don't need to be against ourselves, and the shaming has just got to stop. But yeah, I mean, that's a good perspective. He's there. Trevor's on the front lines with the Whitetails Unlimited banquet, so he's seeing less and less kids. I mean, that's proof right there.
To me, for hunters, it scares the crap out of me.
Oh, it does me too. Yeah, because will it be around for my grandkids or my great grandkids? I want them to be able to enjoy what all of us has been enjoying right now and has been able to enjoy in the past. And it's a scary thought thinking that it might not be there.
I mean, it was, it's passed down from my grandpa to me.
Yep.
And I hope, I'm passing it down to my kids. You've passed it down to your kids.
Mm-hmm.
Are they going? Hopefully they'll pass it down to their kids.
I hope so.
If it's there.
If it's there, yep. And I think if we don't straighten up and stop fighting amongst ourselves, just like Trevor said, man, the numbers are just going to keep going down and down and down. That's terrible. It's a terrible thing. So, Trev, you used to do a turkey hunt in Tennessee all the time. I know you have always been one that not has just talked about it and said we should do it, but you have actually been doing it. And I'm Trevor is the real deal, guys. He's not just saying that he takes kids hunting and not just saying that he's done it in the past. I've seen him spend his own time and money and drive to Tennessee and take other people hunting. I mean, he really does it. So, how many years did you do that, Trev?
We're still, unfortunately, we didn't get to do it this year for, COVID reasons and stuff. But I've been going every year since 2010, since they started up. And
that's impressive.
Western Division of the St. Jude Hunt for a Cure is what that is. That we go down there and guide the kids. And
wow, that's incredible.
It's a good time, and it's awesome watching them smile and kill their first whatever, whether it's a jake, a bearded hen, long beard, whatever. They're all just as excited as can be.
So when them kids,
and that's what it's all about.
Right.
When them kids get out of the blind or out wherever you guys are hunting at, they're not running up sizing that animal. They're just happy they shot a turkey, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, a lot of these kids are first time or never been before, and I mean, there's a lot of repeat kids that come down there, and they're not all sick either. Some of them are sick, and some of them are terminally ill that come down there and not think about, I need the biggest one. They're just thinking, man, I need to get one and kill it, before something happens to me.
Right.
And they're just elated when it all comes together. I mean,
right.
That's awesome.
It's just a crazy thing.
That's what it's about.
That's what it's about. That's exactly right. That's what it's about. Yeah, if we could all, I mean, that's kind of a different perspective. If we could all, hunt like it's our last time.
Yeah.
there you go, right there.
Right.
There you go. Hey, Trev,
Absolutely, and that.
yeah, let us know how we can be involved with that in the future, cause I know I don't even have to ask
Yes.
Grant. I know that Pure Whitetail would love to be involved with it somehow. So let us know how we can help in the future for that hunt.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we would love to be involved with that. But yeah, hey man, I appreciate what you've done. Like I said, there's a lot of guys out there that say I do this or I do that, but I know you've actually done it. I mean, for you to be doing that since 2010, that's impressive, man. Hats off to you for doing that.
I appreciate that, and like
Yep.
I said, I go down there because I enjoy it, and I know my buddy Ross that goes with me every year kind of hunts with me a lot, and he
Yep.
goes, and
Yep.
we just, I mean, that's our highlight of the whole hunting season is going down there and hunt. Or anytime we take a new hunter, I mean, we spent all last season taking new hunters and stuff with us, and I mean, just because that's the enjoyment we get out of it now is taking someone else, introducing someone new,
Right.
and just going out and having a good time, the camaraderie.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, and imagine, it would be heartbreaking if you took somebody and they was like, now man, I've never killed a deer, but I don't want to shoot nothing less than 150. That would be, that would be pretty rough, Like, well, you're gonna have a rough time.
I know, and I've had people tell me that because they look at the internet so much, and I don't know if
Holy
it's
cow.
where they just see everybody doing the shame and all that,
Right.
or if it's just they think there's a big one behind every tree. But I've had new guys say, well, I don't want to shoot nothing but a 150 or bigger or whatever, and I'm like, well, good luck, because I've been hunting for 20 some years and I've got like 4 over 150.
Right.
So,
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like it happens every year.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is, you're right. They're looking at social media, they're watching TV, and they're seeing just nonstop giants getting killed all the time, and they just think that it's that easy, and hats
Right.
off to the guys that are doing it, but sometimes I don't think they portray about how much time, effort, money they have to be able to do what they're doing, and
Right.
the
Absolutely.
new guy doesn't have any perspective on that. The new guy doesn't know that they've literally spent hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars to be able to kill deer like that consistently,
Absolutely. I mean, and even on the flip side of trophy shaming, as far as someone downgrading you for what you kill, there's also the complete opposite. And I know you've heard this side of it.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that does go out and he does kill the 190 or the 200, everybody and their brother is, oh, well, that's a high fence deer, or he poached it, or
Never
it's like
even thought
no
of
one can be happy.
Yep.
Nobody can be happy because, I mean, I've seen it this year with the big deer that I killed. Now, it took me 3 years to kill that deer.
Yeah.
And, I mean, 3 years of really planning and hunting hard and working my tail off to get access in and do everything right and finally getting killed. And to have the local guys jealous, calling the game warden, I mean, and, most people that know me know that I'm friends with all the game wardens, and I hear the rumors that go around.
Right.
And he's telling me how I supposedly poached this deer. No one knows that I have, 3 years of history on video and
Everything.
me actually killing on video this year.
Uh-huh. Yep.
But in the same way with my good buddy that we were in that quest hunt or whatever this year and won it for Ohio.
Right.
As soon as he killed his deer, it was, he killed a 225-inch deer, but automatically he done something wrong or done something illegal to get that deer.
Right.
And it's crazy to,
Yep.
it's crazy the shaming on both sides that hunters do to each other. It's like,
Yeah.
man, we're on the same team here. I would never,
Right.
I would never
Yeah,
do that
never
to
thought.
another hunter. It's always my first word
You've dealt with
is,
it.
is congratulations, man. Nice deer.
Yep. And I
Tell me about it. How did it happen?
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know if you remember, Trevor, but when my wife killed her deer, she killed that woman's world record of 223.3. But I mean, the same thing happened to us. I mean, heck, we heard the game warden got called, all that stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and the craziest story that I heard, the craziest story that I heard is we had it on a chain in the backyard, and the dog got a hold of it, and we finally had to kill the deer And I'm like, that is the craziest. Where in the world do these people get that? And
hold on. I'm gonna pick like, what dog?
Yeah, what dog?
All your dogs stand under.
Yeah, they're 10 pounds. Yeah, 10 pounds. Yeah, they're
9 inches.
Yeah.
Did that go around AK?
Yes, it did actually.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah,
That's what you call peanut butter and jealous.
And Trev, I don't know if you remember either, but our I know Mike too. My good buddy Mike Beatty dealt with the same thing. When he shot his big giant Ohio.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, and when it happened to my wife, when my wife heard all them rumors going around, it was such a great thing that she killed such a big deer on her first time out, and then it bothered her so bad she almost never went hunting again. I had to talk her into it because it bothered her so bad that that people were, all them rumors were going around, and heck, that was before social media. So I couldn't imagine what it's like for a guy like now with social media.
Just so me and you've been hunting.
Oh, I know, and I heard stories about her deer.
Yeah,
yeah, crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Me and you been hunting for 8 or 9 years.
Yeah,
and just past few years, Heather started hunting again.
Yeah, right.
Where she's like, no, I don't want to deal with it anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she hunted for 2 years after she killed the big deer. Killed one with her bow. Killed one with her bow, and then killed one with her muzzleloader, and then she was like, you know what, I'm done.
Yeah.
And then now she's just finally starting to get back into it.
Yeah.
Just because of all that negativity is just too much to handle sometimes, and I never even thought about that. I'm glad you brought that up because I'm sure you dealt with it a lot this year with killing that giant.
He had it chained up in the backyard.
Yeah, it must have.
Well,
my dog must have got loose.
Yeah, it did. It came up here and helped me out. It was kind of funny because the similar story was what the game board was told here. Supposedly, I was feeding my deer corn underneath a light that I had on my shop, and I shot it the night before opening day.
Wow.
With a crossbow out my back door.
Wow.
And I said, that's kind of funny because I live in a subdivision and I don't even have a shop. So I like that how that happened.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's how them stories go, man. That's terrible. Yeah, just, if everybody could just be happy for when people's successful,
Successful in a monster deer.
Yeah.
Or successful in
a little deer.
And a little deer.
Yep.
Or just a doe.
Right.
Yep.
Just be happy for each other.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because you're destroyed.
I know you probably remember, Josh, a couple years ago when I was hunting the great big 250-inch buck that I called the Hawk.
Yes, I remember. Yes.
I'm sure you probably remember that deer.
Yep.
So I hunted him for a couple years, and one of the local guys, the neighbors, actually killed him.
Mm-hmm.
And at first, I was bummed out when I got the text that the guy shot him or whatever. But my immediate reaction was to call that guy and congratulate him.
Yep.
And I asked if I could come see the deer and hear the story.
Right.
It wasn't, oh man, he must have poached it or he shot it with a rifle or anything like that. It was just the immediate reaction was to be like, man, that's cool. I'm glad somebody that was hunting actually got him. He didn't get hit by a car or die of old age or something crazy.
Exactly. Yeah. And that actually happened to me. Not many people know this, but my neighbor killed a guy that hunts my neighbors killed a 225 this year. And he's been really quiet about it and stuff, which kudos for him.
Right.
But and I was tickled to death. Me and Grant found out about it when we were in Montana. And I was like, man, check this out. How awesome is this,
Oh, I said, Josh, you ain't got the trail camera in the right spot.
That's right. So, we laughed about it, and we were like, heck yeah, man, that's awesome. He's a good dude. I know he hunts hard, and he killed a 225 right next door. And I'm like, heck yeah, man, that's great. I'm happy for him,
We seen him daylight to dark every day.
Every day.
There.
Daylight to dark hunting. Yep, and he earned it.
He earned it.
Yeah, he earned it. He set daylight till dark, so he earned that buck. So if everybody could just be happy, just like Grant said, whether it's a little one or whether it's a big one, this industry and our sport in general would be so much better. It's a shame that we've got it to this point. Hopefully people, the right people start speaking up, and we're going to do our part to start speaking up about it and trying to bring a voice.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, and people like you.
And that's who needs to do it.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's who needs it because the everyday hunter, they don't see like the behind the scenes stuff of the industry, like, you know, you or I would see, who's heavily involved in it every year.
Right.
I mean, we're seeing the numbers decrease. The guys that are just, you know, going to, you know, out wherever and getting their gear and going hunting and enjoying themselves, they're not seeing the decline. So they're like, you know,
Right.
all this stuff is not really happening, but it really is. I mean,
Right.
you can't stress it enough. Like I said, I'm seeing it every single year.
Right.
The decline in the kids and all that stuff. It's just,
Yeah.
it really is taking a toll on us.
Yep, that is terrible for sure. Well, Trev, we appreciate you coming on, man.
Yep.
You brought a
Thank you,
different
man.
perspective, and I'm glad you brought that up. I hadn't even thought about that, and me and my wife personally went through it, and I didn't even think to bring it. I didn't even think of it that
I'm not
way.
gonna lie to you.
Right.
I knew who you were before I personally met you at the mill.
Yeah.
Because I knew of Heather's deer and I heard the stories.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And you know, I never believed anything.
Right.
You can't believe anything
Right.
you ever heard.
Right.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
you know,
And I always told my response to everybody
it blows
was,
my mind now.
yeah, I know. My response to everybody was, do you really think the Division of Wildlife would have put her on the rules and regulations if she would have poached the deer?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, come
Right.
on.
I mean,
yeah,
Crazy.
it's
if
crazy.
you think you got a deer chained up,
Yeah.
come chain one of our tame deer up.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
They're not going to be tamed anymore.
Yeah, they ain't gonna be. You ain't gonna chain no deer up. I don't care who you are, but
They will kill themselves.
they will kill herself to get loose. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. But Trev, thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate you brought a different perspective that we didn't even think about, and that's why I wanted to call you right there. Thanks for all you do for the youth. With Whitetails Unlimited, I know that's a great organization and and thanks for taking the first time hunters, man. You do a great job, and I hope you
Yep,
kill
thank
it.
you.
I hope you kill another big giant next year, man. You deserve it.
Well, guys, I appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing your podcast and everything you do
All
on
right.
your guys' end. So appreciate you guys having me.
Okay, thanks, Trevor. We'll talk at you soon, buddy.
Thank you, man.
Thanks.
Uh-huh.
Thank you. See you.
Bye. That's a good dude right there, man. He's the real
Yeah.
deal. You know, a lot of people say, "Oh, I took so and so." I mean, you know,
He actually does.
he actually does, and been doing it before it was cool.
And,
you
you
know,
know,
since 2010.
We've been talking about guys and shooting small deer or I hate this word small.
Small.
hate
Well,
that
that's what they are. But
They're small.
if they're happy with them,
They're
that's all.
happy.
Yeah,
But the guys that shoot big deer and take all the criticism too,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yep.
I've seen it firsthand.
Yep.
You've dealt with it firsthand.
I've dealt with it firsthand. I've dealt with it on my wife's side, and then
Is that why you're called Mrs. Martin?
yeah, that's why I'm called. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. And
Hey, I brought 7 shot out tonight, so I had to get my shot in there at you. I'm sorry.
you know, and I've took it, you know, and I've took a lot of heat too over the years, just because I've been fortunate enough to kill a lot of big deer. I don't have anything close to what Heather,
What about? I mean,
you know.
a few. I can't remember 3 years, 4 or 5 years ago. We were in North Dakota. And you shot that
Oh,
deer.
geez, yeah. I took a lot of heat over that
You
one.
took a ton of heat. I'm
Yep.
like, holy cow.
Yep. Yeah, getting Facebook messages. The Division of Wildlife's been called. You're going down. Blah blah blah. You know, and especially now. I mean, I've always followed the letter of the law, but especially now. I mean, we are like, this is our livelihood.
Yeah.
I mean, pure whitetail's our livelihood. If one of us got caught poaching, it would be all over. So
Poaching,
we're to
or-
the letter of the law.
Like,
like,
it's to the T. We check each other, make sure we got everything we need.
oh yeah. I mean, it is.
before we ever start hunting,
Right.
because there's a dot on our back. They're just they would love
to take us down.
to
yeah.
take us down,
Yeah.
to take me and Josh down, and we. I mean, hopefully, goodness
Yeah. Oh yeah.
that
If we ever make a mistake, it's an honest mistake.
It's an honest mistake because
we didn't mean to do it. That's for
we
dang sure.
check each other
Oh, nonstop.
nonstop.
Yep.
And making sure because
Yep.
we know the people out there.
Yep. Oh,
because
yeah.
of the other hunter wanting to screw the other hunter's eyes out.
Yep.
And,
Yep.
I mean,
they're the worst.
I'm sorry, that's the best way you can put
That's
it.
exactly right. Yep.
I mean, it might sound mean, but it's the truth.
That's the truth. Yep. Yep.
And you guys keep on doing that,
We ain't gonna have nothing.
you ain't gonna have nothing. I
nothing.
promise you that.
Yep.
And I'm not saying that I want to go poach or do anything like that. I want to follow the law,
Right.
but guys like want to just downgrade other hunters
Right.
and give them hard
It's the
time. They're trying the
downfall-
hardest.
It's the downfall of our sport.
It's the downfall of our sport.
Yep.
And when you'll be the first one that cries, well, where's all the hunters
Yeah,
at?
right, exactly, yeah. Why is our hunting rights getting taken away? Well, there's nobody left to fight.
You'll be the first ones to start crying.
Yep, imagine if you're an army, and every year the other army keeps growing, and your army keeps shrinking.
Because you're arguing amongst each other.
What's going to happen?
A team, a family, a group, any of them big words like that, don't argue with each other.
Right, exactly. Yep, for sure.
So,
yep. I just want everybody to be happy. I want everybody to be successful.
yeah.
Shoot what makes you happy.
Enjoy hunting.
Yep.
How about that? Just
Yep.
enjoy hunting, being out in the woods with your family, your friends, your kids,
Yep.
your grandpa, your dad.
Yep.
Just enjoy being out in the woods hunting.
Shoot what makes you happy.
Shoot what makes you happy.
Yep.
And learn to love the sport and not worry about what other people thinks.
That's a perfect way to end it right there. He said
So-
it perfectly. So, yep, don't worry about what anybody else thinks.
I know what my next topic's going to be.
What's that?
Do you have next one? Or
I'm going to let you pick it.
I picked this last one.
Okay, go ahead. I'll let you pick the next one.
You want
too.
to pick next one?
Yeah.
Next one is the bashing of companies.
That's a good one. I like it.
I'm ready for that one
Okay.
because I'm ready. I mean, beyond ready.
All right. Cool. I
I'm
like
tired.
it.
I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
It's destroying our industry.
Oh,
again.
it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Jabberjaws, keep running your mouth because I'm coming.
Right. All right, guys. Hey, great podcast this week. Great subject line. I think. Thanks again to Trevor Justice calling in. We appreciate him calling in. It brought a whole different perspective that we didn't even think about, and I've lived through it personally. So I can't believe I forgot to think about it on the flip side. I just didn't think about it. So that's why we had him on. So, but thanks, guys, for listening to the Pure Whitetail podcast. Remember, it's available everywhere. If you want to watch the video version, make sure you do it on YouTube and subscribe and like and share and do all that good stuff. Nate, do you have anything else for this week?
I'm good.
All right. Grant, is that it?
That's all I got. I'm just starting to think of a show and tell next time.
Okay.
And that's all I got. Just remember, I know I get aggravated, I get fired up, I get serious sometimes, you get serious sometimes. I love everybody, but there is sensitive subjects that, bother me.
Right. Yep.
And
I'm the same way. Yeah.
It's human nature.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, I can shake anybody's hand, give you a hug, and love you, and wish you the best because that's the way it needs to be.
Right. Absolutely.
And I'm happy for whatever direction you want to go.
That's right. Yep.
So, love you guys. Have a great day.
See y'all.